Most of us were told that a handful of nuts is the safest snack you can choose. Here is the twist. Years ago, I met a man not much younger than me who did everything right. He walked daily, he read labels, and he swapped cookies for almonds because he loved his heart. Then his kidneys failed, so suddenly it felt like a trapdoor opened under his feet. No wild toxin, no rare disease. Just the wrong nut every single day for a long, quiet stretch. I want you to picture what your kidneys do for you. They are small, silent filters that hum along without complaint. When we choose the right foods, they carry on like steady hands steering a calm boat. When we choose the wrong ones, the water turns cloudy and the filters clog. You will not hear them scream. You will just feel a little more tired, a little more puffy, a little more short of breath, until one day the lab numbers tell a hard truth. Here is why this story matters. Not all nuts treat your kidneys the same. Some are gentle, low in the minerals that pile up when kidneys slow down. Others are packed with compounds that can build crystals or push blood vessels toward trouble. The label may promise heart healthy. The price tag may suggest premium. Your kidneys do not read labels or prices. They only feel the load. I have taken care of older adults long enough to see a pattern. A choice that is perfect for a healthy heart can still be heavy for a weary kidney. That is the paradox almost no one tells you when they say eat more nuts. I do not want you to fear food. I want you to understand it. There is a simple way to get the good without inviting the harm. Tonight I will show you the quiet middle path. There are 3 nuts that behave like bodyguards for your kidneys. There are 3 others that ask too much of those small filters. I will explain how they differ in plain language, why some are easier on you, and how to use them without guesswork. You will leave with one swap you can make before your next snack, and one question to ask anytime a new food trend comes along. Before we dive in, do a tiny check with me. Open your pantry in your mind and notice the nut you reach for most often. Is it there because a friend swears by it, because a magazine called it a superfood, or because it simply tastes good with coffee? None of those are bad reasons. They are just incomplete. By the end, you will know whether that habit is helping your kidneys or quietly weighing them down. One more gentle note from the bedside. This conversation is information, not a diagnosis. Your kidneys are as personal as your fingerprint. Medications, blood pressure, blood sugar, and past surgeries all shape what is safe for you. I will give you the map and the compass so you can talk with your clinician and make a choice that fits your life. Stay with me. In a moment, we will start with the nut that surprises almost everyone, and we will trade it for one that tastes rich, calms inflammation, and goes easier on your filters. For now, take a breath, sip a little water if you are thirsty, and glance at that pantry shelf. Small changes stack up, and this is where we begin. Many of my patients tell me they switched from chips or cookies to a small bowl of nuts because every magazine and neighbor said it would be good for their heart. That choice feels smart and safe. It is easy. It does not require cooking or measuring. You just reach into the jar and feel like you are taking care of yourself. But here is the part that almost no one talks about. A food that is gentle on your arteries can still be heavy on your kidneys. I want you to imagine your kidneys like 2 quiet coworkers in the back office. They handle every invoice, every scrap of waste without asking for thanks. Then one day you drop twice the paperwork on their desk and expect them to keep smiling. At first they manage. They stay late. They push through the stack. But over weeks and months they slow down. The lights stay on later and later. The piles grow. This is what happens inside you when the load of certain minerals and plant compounds becomes too much. If you have ever woken up with your fingers a little swollen, your shoes tighter, or your energy lower than the day before, your kidneys may be whispering that they need a break. The trouble is, those whispers sound like normal aging. Most people brush them off until the lab results speak louder. By then, you may be told to watch every bite, to avoid entire food groups, and sometimes to prepare for treatments you never imagined. I am not saying this to frighten you. I am saying it to pull back the curtain on a gap in the usual heart-healthy advice. You deserve to know that not all nuts are the same. Some pass through your kidneys like a gentle breeze. Others leave behind sharp crystals or extra minerals that the filters struggle to clear. If you have even mild kidney concerns, the difference between these two groups can change the way you feel next month, next year, and in the decade ahead. As we go on, I will name the nuts that quietly protect you and the ones that demand too much. You will see why they behave so differently and how a simple swap can lighten the desk of those two coworkers in your back office. For now, just take note of how your body feels after your usual snack. That small observation may be the first step toward protecting the organs that protect you every single day. When we talk about kidney strain, the conversation often sounds like a chemistry lecture. I want to make it simpler. Imagine each kidney as a fine mesh filter inside a coffee press. Every sip of water and every bite of food you take carries tiny particles that pass through that mesh. Some particles slide through like silk. Others are like wet sand. They clump, they stick, and they make every push on the plunger a little harder. 3 types of particles make that mesh work too hard. The first are called oxalates. In nature, they are harmless crystals inside plants, a bit like the grit inside a pear. In small amounts, they pass through without fuss. In larger amounts, they meet the calcium in your kidneys and lock together like tiny shards of glass. Over time, these shards form stones that scrape and block the flow. You may feel it as a dull ache in your back, or a sharp wave that sends you to the emergency room. In some people, those crystals lodge right in the kidney tissue, creating scars that never fully heal. The second are minerals your body needs in small doses but cannot handle in surplus when the filters slow down. Potassium is one of them. It keeps your heart beating steady, but when it builds up, it can throw that rhythm off. The same goes for phosphorus. It belongs in your bones, but too much in the blood pulls calcium out of those bones, leaving them brittle, and drops the calcium into your blood vessels where it hardens like cement in a pipe. Now think about what happens if every day you send more of these particles through your filters than they can clear. At first, your kidneys adapt. They work late. They stretch their capacity. But like any overworked system, they reach a point where each pass leaves a little residue. That residue is inflammation. It is swelling in the delicate tissue. It is the slow narrowing of pathways that should be wide open. You do not feel this at first. You just notice you cannot walk as far without resting, or your ankles stay puffy longer. This is why knowing the load each food puts on your kidneys matters. It is not about banning all nuts or living in fear. It is about choosing the ones whose particles slip through the mesh without leaving grit behind. That choice can be the difference between filters that hum along for decades and filters that clog years too soon. I still remember the look on his face. He was a healthy man in his late 40s, the kind who jogged on weekends and ordered salads for lunch. For years, he kept a bag of almonds in his desk drawer, reaching for them whenever he wanted a smart snack. He believed, as so many of us do, that almonds were a gift to the heart and a friend to long life. Then, one morning, he woke with a sharp pain in his side that felt like a knife twisting deeper with each breath. By the end of the week, he was in a hospital bed with a diagnosis he never expected: acute kidney failure. What went wrong was not a poison or a rare illness. It was something far more ordinary. Almonds are packed with oxalates, natural plant compounds that in high amounts bind to calcium and turn into tiny crystals. 1 ounce of almonds holds well over 100 milligrams of oxalates. For someone at risk of kidney stones, the safe daily limit is closer to 40 or 50. My patient was eating more than triple that every single day, often without drinking enough water to help flush it through. Those crystals built up quietly, settling into his kidneys like grit in a watch, jamming the delicate gears until the whole mechanism ground to a halt. This danger is easy to miss because almonds wear a halo in the nutrition world. They are promoted as heart-healthy, rich in vitamin E, and good for cholesterol. All of that can be true for a person with strong kidneys. But for the 37 million Americans living with chronic kidney disease, the same snack can be like pouring sand into an already slow filter. Marketing does not mention the oxalate load or the phosphorus content, which can also stress a kidney that is losing function. Even soaking almonds or turning them into almond butter does not solve the problem. The oxalates are in the flesh of the nut, not just the skin, and they survive roasting, grinding, and baking. If you love the crunch or the mild sweetness of almonds, there are safer swaps. Sunflower seeds deliver a similar dose of vitamin E without the oxalate burden. Hazelnuts offer the same healthy fats with a gentler mineral profile. In baking, sunflower seed flour can stand in for almond flour and keep your recipes friendly to your kidneys. If you have a jar of almonds in your kitchen today, take a moment to think about how often you reach for them. This is not about never eating them again. It is about knowing your own kidney health and making a choice that serves both your heart and your filters. Your kidneys will not warn you with a shout. They will whisper through subtle changes in your body. Listening to those whispers and making one simple swap can save you from the sudden silence of a filter that has stopped. When I first learned how much phosphorus was hiding in pine nuts, I had to read the numbers twice. These tiny seeds from the cones of pine trees are prized in gourmet cooking for their buttery taste and high price tag. A small handful can cost as much as a simple lunch. That price makes them feel special, almost medicinal, as if expensive means safe. But inside that smooth shell is a mineral profile that can wear your kidneys down day by day. Pine nuts carry close to 200 milligrams of phosphorus in a single ounce, along with 170 milligrams of potassium and more than 4 grams of protein. For a healthy kidney, those numbers may pass without notice. For a kidney already working harder than it should, this is like dropping a heavy bag on a fragile bridge every afternoon. The extra phosphorus does not just float harmlessly in your blood. It tugs calcium out of your bones, leaving them soft and breakable, then deposits that calcium into your blood vessels, where it hardens like cement in a water pipe. The result is a double hit: weaker bones and stiffer arteries. The tricky part is how easily pine nuts slip into your meals without you thinking about it. A tablespoon of traditional pesto can contain the equivalent of several tablespoons of pine nuts ground into a rich paste. Sprinkle them over a salad, and you may have already met a full serving. They hide in grain dishes, gourmet nut mixes, even in some protein bars. Restaurants often use them generously in pasta, vegetables, and dressings without listing them clearly. If you have kidney concerns, a polite question to your server can save you from an invisible overload. Portion control is another challenge. Pine nuts are small and soft, so your mouth can chew through a handful in seconds without sending any signal of fullness. That is why the serving you thought was a garnish can quietly become 2 or 3 times the intended amount. Unlike some nuts that can be soaked or prepared in ways that reduce their risk, no cooking method removes the phosphorus in pine nuts. Whether raw, roasted, or blended, the mineral load stays the same. If you love the flavor of pesto, try blending it with sunflower seeds or a modest amount of hazelnuts. For crunch in a salad, toasted sunflower seeds or chopped pecans give a similar satisfaction with less strain on your kidneys. And if you enjoy the richness pine nuts bring to a dish, chopped walnuts can offer that depth while staying in the safer mineral range. Tonight, take a moment to check the ingredient list of any sauces or mixes in your kitchen. You may find your kidneys have been working overtime without your knowing it. Cashews are shaped like little kidneys, and the irony is not lost on me. They look like the organs they can quietly harm when eaten in the wrong amount. In a single ounce, they hold around 47 milligrams of oxalates, enough to nudge someone prone to kidney stones toward trouble. They also bring roughly 150 milligrams of phosphorus and 180 milligrams of potassium. For a healthy person, these numbers may pass without issue. For someone with kidneys already carrying a heavier load, Each handful is like adding another layer of grit to the filter. The rise of plant-based eating has given cashews a starring role they never had before. They are blended into creamy sauces, whipped into dairy-free desserts, and turned into milk and cheese alternatives. This might sound like a gentle choice, and for some parts of the body it can be. But for the kidneys, every cup of cashew cream or slice of cashew cheese can contain the equivalent of several ounces of whole nuts. It is like taking the weight of a single stone and pressing it into a dense brick. The concentration multiplies the oxalates and minerals without giving your kidneys any extra capacity to handle them. Another hidden hazard is how easy cashews are to overeat. Unlike hard, crunchy nuts that make you slow down, cashews are soft and rich. They dissolve quickly on your tongue, so you can go through a cup before your stomach even knows it. Commercial cashew products often add preservatives and salts that bring even more phosphorus and sodium into the mix. That is like giving the filters extra work, while tightening the pipes they have to push through. This does not mean you have to give up creamy sauces or rich textures. If you want the same silky feel in a recipe, sunflower seed butter can mimic it with a gentler mineral profile. Hemp hearts bring healthy fats and protein without the oxalate burden. For dairy-free creaminess in small amounts, coconut cream can work, though it should be used in moderation due to saturated fat. If you are curious about your own kitchen, check the labels on any plant-based cheese, milk, or dessert you have on hand. Look for cashews high on the ingredient list. If they are there, think about how often you eat them and what your kidneys might be saying in response. Sometimes the safest choice is not about avoiding a food forever, but about knowing when enough is enough. After we have talked about the troublemakers, I want to turn the light on 3 quiet allies for your kidneys. These are the nuts that give more than they take, the ones that slip through your filters like a clear stream instead of a muddy flood. The first is the walnut, and I mean the common English walnut you find in most grocery stores. Crack it open, and you will see the shape of a small brain, a clue to its well-earned reputation for supporting the mind. But the gift to your kidneys comes from its omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats act like tiny firefighters, moving through your blood vessels to calm the small flames of inflammation that slowly damage both heart and kidney tissue. An ounce of walnuts holds about 125 milligrams of potassium and under 100 milligrams of phosphorus, a sweet spot even for those with kidney concerns. If you enjoy them, try 7 to 10 halves 3 to 5 times a week. Toast them lightly in a dry pan to bring out their flavor without adding salt. Store them in the fridge so their oils stay fresh and healing. Next is the macadamia, a nut with a mild buttery taste and one of the lowest mineral loads you will find. An ounce carries just over 100 milligrams of potassium and barely more than 50 milligrams of phosphorus, with a small amount of protein that does not overburden the kidneys. Its main strength is in its monounsaturated fats, similar to those in olive oil, which protect the delicate vessels feeding your kidneys. If you find yourself reaching for a mid-afternoon snack, a small handful of macadamias can keep your energy steady without spiking your mineral intake. Like walnuts, keep them cool and airtight to avoid rancidity. The third ally is the hazelnut, a small round nut that often hides behind sweet spreads in the market. Whole hazelnuts are rich in vitamin E, especially a form called gamma-tocopherol that protects the membranes of kidney cells from oxidative damage. 1 ounce gives you about 20% of your daily vitamin E, along with a mineral profile that stays within safe limits for most kidney patients. Their softer texture makes them easier to chew, a plus for anyone with dental concerns. Toss a dozen hazelnuts into a bowl with low potassium fruit, like apples or pears, for a snack that supports both flavor and kidney health. If you cannot find one of these allies, or if you are allergic to tree nuts, sunflower seeds can stand in for any of them, bringing healthy fats and vitamin E with even lower mineral content. Before your next grocery trip, make a note to pick one of these heroes and give it a place in your week. Small choices, made often, are what keep your kidneys quietly doing their job for years to come. We have walked through the quiet ways certain nuts can strain your kidneys, and the equally quiet ways others can protect them. You now know that what looks good for your heart is not always gentle on your filters, and that the difference can be as small as the nut you drop into your hand each afternoon. This is not about living in fear of food. It is about living with awareness and giving your kidneys the respect they have earned after years of silent work. Your kidney health is as personal as your fingerprint. Age, blood pressure, blood sugar, medications, even old injuries can shape what is safe for you. That is why the safest path is to take what you have learned here and talk with your clinician. Ask them which of these heroes can be part of your week and which of the troublemakers should stay on the shelf. This is a conversation worth having before trouble shows up. For now, I want you to take one small step. Open your pantry and pick one nut you will swap this week. Maybe it is trading almonds for walnuts, or cashew cream for a sauce made with sunflower seeds. Write it down, make the change, and notice how your body feels over the next few days. Small changes, done often, build a wall of protection that lasts. Remember, your kidneys will not scream for help until it is too late. They whisper through swelling, fatigue, or a slow climb in lab numbers. By listening now, you give yourself the best chance to avoid the harder conversations later. And you give yourself the gift of aging with strength and independence. I would love to hear from you. Which of the nuts on the danger list surprised you most today? Share your thoughts below so we can learn together. If you are curious about early signs of kidney trouble, I have another conversation ready for you that walks through the symptoms you should never ignore. Click it now and keep building the knowledge that keeps you well.